wrapping up for the day, setting up my levels soon for tonight and tomorrow. But I just wanted to review Euro USD for March 3rd, as well as kind of update again from what we saw over the weekend and what we saw today. So this is a 4-hour chart on Euro USD. We're looking at most of the action in February. We came up all the way up and have been kind of just consolidating since as a bull flag that we picked up halfway through February. Are almost at the end of February when we noticed multiple touches here and we were able to draw something out that looks like that. And we anticipated some type of reaction here, which we did get. That turned out to be a good tradable bounce. And then we got an actual better failed breakdown here right at the end of the day on Friday or close to it that resulted in almost 120 pip bounce, which was an awesome trade potentially. Um, and the entrance was actually down here. I'm going to break in down on why the entrance was set up, why we got a liquidity grab that was a smaller level one, but that set up the bigger liquidity grab of this low right here. Let's get into it. So I'm going to zoom into 45 minutes first, and we're going to look at the action Friday afternoon as well as Sunday open, and then today, March 3rd. So this is the action right here on Friday that led to the failed breakdown or the liquidity grab. I want to go to a 15-minute chart to show you what that looks like here. Let's come bring it to the side a little more. Um, Essentially, liquidity grab is when a low is set. It bounces a decent amount, let's say at least 8 to 10 pips or points. In this case, it bounced almost 18 up here. That original low was lost and then was attempted to reclaim. The trigger for this trade would be about, depending on the bounce, but at least about 3 points. So this low right here was 33.64. So I would say the entrance should be about 367. We have a level that's right at that place at 367.6. So generally, I'm looking for this level to get taken out and trigger through. And I want to see some consolidation before I go long, ideally, unless I get a big candle that tells me I should enter pretty soon. So here at 2 o'clock, we went through that level and then we consolidated almost like a bull flag where we're sideways consolidating and downward. And eventually, almost, I would say, an hour and a half or more later, we actually went through that trigger with some force, a 7 point candle. The right entry would have probably been somewhere around here when you saw a chance of it going through, and your stop loss would have been below this ultimate low. That resulted in a good level to level trade. Let's say you entered at 367, it hit 377 at 345. That would have been 10 points already. I would have taken some profit here and left a little exposure for the rest of this move. Moving to Sunday open, I said in the first video I put on this channel that I expected a 30 to 50 point, I think 50 point I said, to be honest, point start or jump off as soon as the market would open, and the entry was already probably too late, and that's exactly what happened. We opened almost 25 points or 30 points actually above. We never sold off, and then we went another 20 points. So if you add up what I said around this trigger of that low we saw 2 weeks ago, that's about 376, and we ended up at 421. So 24 plus 21 is about 45 points. And then since we got there overnight, we really just kind of went back and forth between these levels. There wasn't much actionable things going on. So I'm going to consolidate this to a 45-minute chart just to make it a little cleaner. Um, and I want to point out, I also noticed a potential megafoam or a broadening formation happening. When I noticed this action over here, I drew this out to connect this. And then once I saw this all going on, my intention was that at some point we will be seeing this area get hit. The only entry we were really provided was this dip in recovery of this major level that was provided. But it happened overnight around 3:30. I was sleeping, so I missed my chance. I already had a small runner of it was like a little exposure, from this fail breakdown we mentioned earlier, Friday afternoon. And then honestly, today the price just ran. So essentially, we opened around 376 and went all the way up to 503, so almost 125 points with minimal drawdown. So that was an awesome trade. That's the result, and I'm going to zoom out real quick of a macro fail breakdown, a macro liquidity grab. When you have a big low here, price goes up a lot. Eventually, typically comes back and tests that low, and if it can, it'll try to reclaim it. You might get a level or two up. In this case, we went all the way up, almost nearly back at the area that caused the sell-off initially on Wednesday the 26th. Now going back a little bit, 45 minutes to discuss what we saw after this afternoon to see what type of positions were available. The initial setup I was looking for in the previous video I've uploaded was to see if this would get challenged for a failed breakdown, a liquidity grab, where I would wait for price to come down here, slightly go below this, and then go above and hold that, or a direct level touch, maybe in this area. But we got neither. What we did get, excuse me, was this very confusing candle where it touched the exact level above and touched the exact level below. That gave the energy to the price action a little bit to reset. So when we came down here, one could have taken a direct touch of this level. I'm going to go to 5 minutes for educational purposes. I want to show you how you would have approached this. When the price goes through, you want to see it come back up at least a couple points. So if this is 470, at least 472, 473, and wait for that to hold at least a minute or so. If you look at a 1 minute chart, again, for educational purposes only, and I'm going to bring it back, you can see the price came through. Where are we? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, actually, this is it. So the price came through, jumped really quick, waited a minute, waited a second. So you could probably have waited about 2-3 minutes and gone long around 473. If you It triggered around 301. 304 is when it sold back down. You could take the chance there. It's been about 4 minutes. It's held 3 minutes. So going back to a 15-minute chart real quick, gonna just reset this. Going back to where we were for today, we did not get the setup I was expecting, but again, because we had a little bit of like a selling and buying situation here where that just kind of reset the price action, and this big 20-point sell, this level provided a decent long, but I did not take that. I wanted more sell. What I did get was a sell off and a failed breakdown, a liquidity grab of this low. So going to a 5 minute real quick to show you in real time, this low popped off. We went about 467 to 485, almost 18 points. That's a quality bounce, a quality low to work with. We lost that low and recovered it. The low here was 467, so I'm looking to go long about 3 points above. So 470, perfect. We have a major level to work with there. I saw the price go through. It came back down. It did not lose this ultimate low, and then it started going back up. So I went long about 471. I caught. I did not want to sell at the first profit take. It was too close. The second one was 7 points away from me, so that was much better. I sold about 70% of my position there, held on to the rest. When we got up here above 483, I sold a little more. I sold about 15%, so I had 15% left on my position, and then I'm holding now long with an opportunity for more, hopefully. There was a chance we back tested this level when we came up. If we back test it again, it likely won't be good, but I've already made my trade of the day here. We didn't get much to work with all day until this failed breakdown. This was a good trade as well if you wanted to, especially because we sold straight down here. But I like to use liquidity grabs. I like to look for failed breakdowns. I like to have a low set, uh, sell, go up a little bit, sell back down, lose that low, and then take the reclaim of that low, ideally about 3 points or more, depending on a couple situations that can arise. But generally speaking, at least 3 points above I'm looking for. So that trade worked out great. I hope you got to review this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, subscribe, and let me know what you want me to show. I'll be posting more videos all the time in terms of how to approach the market. I think level to level is the best way, and understanding how you trade is the best way to learn. I like to trade like the big money does. It's the only way I think it's really profitable over a long period of time. And typically 15 minutes is the time frame that's a minimum. But we can get into more details soon. Have a great night. More info coming up for tomorrow's setup.